Welcome back, Lenz's Comic Corner. Classics/non-classics. Episode number 312 and Doubleshot number 242. Okay? First up, Deadpool versus Thanos. I should mention that it's mentioned here at the beginning of the book, before I get to the actual thing, that this miniseries takes place between volumes 2 and 3 of Deadpool. Yeah, it takes place before the Marvel Now relaunch. So, yeah, this miniseries, you can fit that between there. It's written by Tim Seeley. And yeah, it's Deadpool versus Thanos. I should also point out this is actually one of the very few series in the last, I'd say, 6 years that is not written by Colin Bunn. Because normally when you think of a Deadpool miniseries, who usually is the writer of that? Colin Bunn. As a matter of fact, he's writing currently as we're doing 2 Deadpool series right now. He's doing Deadpool and the Mercs and Money, which recently became an ongoing series a few months ago. And he's also doing, he's doing Deadpool Back in Black, which I'll bring up more in the next episode because there's going to be more Deadpool coming next episode. This is just a 4-issue miniseries, so basically Deadpool and Thanos just team up just to save Death. And yeah, this is well before Deadpool got married, so yeah. But, and I think this is the only miniseries. This is actually one of the very few things Tim Seeley's ever done for Marvel Comics. Yeah, this is actually one of his very few Marvel works. Because when people have thought of Tim Seeley, what usually comes to mind first? Well, there's a few things. There is Hack Slash. Yeah, Hack Slash is one of them. There's also his series Grayson and the Curse of Nightwing. That's the current series he's currently doing. Let's see. He's done a little bit of he's done some stuff, but generally when people think of Tim Seeley, it's usually Hack Slash, Grayson, or Nightwing. That's usually when people think of Tim Seeley. People think of him on those 3 books. Don't think of work. So, yeah, this is his only known Marvel work that he's ever done. I wouldn't mind him doing, as far as I've heard, he is supposed to be doing other Marvel work. He's supposed to be doing the Blade series, which, as far as I've heard, has been delayed for over a year and still has not come out yet. And this came out only like last year. Yeah, and having it set between volumes 2 and 3 is a brilliant stroke of genius. Because it doesn't interfere with continuity that much. And plus, even though this thing is not referenced in any other thing, but it's still a good miniseries. And I highly recommend tracking this down. If you want something that's just fun and featuring Thanos, and of course versing Deadpool, I highly recommend this. The only reason why Marvel keeps pumping out all these Deadpool miniseries because they sell really well. It ends really nicely too, despite the. Oh yeah, and I should also mention this: is that you have Deadpool and Thanos working with. Let's see, where is he? Here he is. Meet Black Talon. Now some people are thinking, isn't he dead? Yeah, one of the Black Talons got, I think it was the original one. He got killed off in Greg Rucka's run for Punisher. This is a new Black Talon. He only appears in this one miniseries, and that's it. 9 out of 10. This is just awesome. Next up is a series that's really fun, and it's even ended up on Longbox of the Damned. Yeah, it has. This one has. Deadpool, Dracula's Gauntlet, or as it was originally known as when it was coming out in Infinite Comics, Deadpool the Gauntlet. This is basically a 7-issue miniseries that was reprinted a couple times. Originally, this was printed as a 14-chapter digital comic, which was reprinted as a 7-issue miniseries, and of course, a giant-sized one-shot. Yep. Now, pretty much, the story is, well, it's been basically, people have reviewed this, but yeah. One thing the series is noteworthy for doing is they was using this hot woman who's sitting next to Deadpool. That's what's her name? Her name is Shaquilla. I don't really remember her name. But yeah, this is a story of how Deadpool and this woman who basically, her real true form was demon, but yeah, any guy would want this woman. But she's kind of like, in a way, she's kind of indirectly Marvel's version of Poison Ivy. How? Because anytime she kisses a man, they die. Though in the case of Poison Ivy, they just get poisoned and just die right there. This woman turns a person to a corpse. Yep. And basically, you just have Deadpool just teaming up with Blade and fighting a bunch of vampires, and they make a bunch of Twilight jokes. And even, and this is funny, she even pokes fun at the fact that, like, he's like, how the heck did Dracula allow this stuff to be published? Yeah, because, like most people, hardly, like, anybody who grew up reading the Twilight books, I never read them. I never cared to. My sister was a fan of the Twilight books. I don't want to get into that. But anyways, yeah. And it's mentioning the sparkling pricks. And even Blade. And there's a joke toward Blade. It's like he has enough with the Twilight books to deal with. And also, I thought this was really funny. Is that one of the covers for Deadpool Classic actually showed up in this book. I'm not kidding. It does show up for like one panel. They go to a comic shop, of all things. They go to a bookstore which happened to sell Deadpool Classics. And it's just pure funniness as fun. It's just hilarious. Yeah, here it is right here. I mean, here's Deadpool right here pulling his own trade off the shelf. And anybody who can recognize that clearly that is basically the cover to... I have the thing right here. Yeah, I don't know if the artist did this as a joke, but it's the trade he pulled off the shelf was this one right here. Yeah, he pulled Deadpool Classic Volume 7. He pulled this particular book off the shelf to buy it. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I'm reviewing this next episode. But yeah, this book is just very funny. There's a lot of humor in there. It's action. Basically, you can call this an action comedy. Yeah, because it's funny and it's got a lot of action. And of course, Werewolf by Night himself does show up in the book. As, of course, he's also sort of a recurring character in the current Deadpool book, where he briefly had an affair with Deadpool's wife. I don't really remember her name. Yeah, how she makes her debut in here is quite something. I'm like, okay, you make her first appearance in the book, and she gets out of her coffin. Let's see. Where was that? Let's see. The way she makes her debut. This is how she makes her debut in comic form. Yep. Her name is Shakala. I'm sorry if I'm... I'm sorry, Gary. Sorry, Mr. Doug. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, but yeah, it's kind of hard to pronounce that name, but yeah. And of course, it's referenced here that somehow Deadpool got married. It must have happened between some of the chapters, but yeah. But the wedding happens in Deadpool 27, but this is just awesome. So, in case you want to find out of when particular year, you have to look it up You have to look up in Linkara's Longbox Name Archive of which episode he reviewed this particular story for, because he did review this already. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think even Last Aaron Geekage reviewed this too, if I'm not mistaken. You have to check his archive as well. But yeah, Deadpool. Gary Duggan, Brian Busing, great job. The artist in here is storyboard is Riley Brown. He does most of the work. He does chapters 1 through 8 and 10 through 14. Chapter 9 is done by Gary Ralph, and Scott Kublish does chapters 11 and 13. He does it with Riley Brown. What rating do I give this awesome story? 9.5 out of 10. Awesome. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode 313 and Doubleshot 243. Where I got 2 more Deadpool traits, one of whom is going to be Deadpool Archaeology. Okay? So until then, I will see you there. Bye.